Hey, it's your girl Shalonda B. Thank you for tuning in. I have my wonderful special friend that happens to be the guest today, Tinika B. Love. Hey, girl.
Hey, how are you?
I'm awesome. I'm awesome.
You're
I
looking
am.
beautiful.
Oh, you're so sweet. I just love her. See, that's her name says so much about her. um, so I brought you on the show because I want you to talk about cooking with
My
love
butt.
and so many other things that she has going on. Last week, Thursday, she interviewed me on her show. It was such an honor. I had
Yes,
such a
thank you
great
for
time.
coming.
If y'all have missed it or you would like to tune in and find out about what we were talking about, tune in onto her Instagram channel on Tinika B Love.
Love.
Okay.
Yes.
So let's talk. So, what inspired you to? Let me just say, wait. So this is my copy, but let me just say, this book has some yummy, delicious food. Yum food. So, Tanika's gonna tell you just a little bit about what inspired her to write the book and why she wrote the book, and maybe share a couple of the recipes. No, I don't think so. You have to buy the book. So go ahead.
Well, what inspired me to write the book? I was always cooking my entire life. I grew up in the kitchen. My grandmother was a homemaker, and I just loved being in the kitchen with her. And she created dishes. I had a love for food, and being a homemaker, I really idolized my grandmother. So that's what got me into liking cooking. And then when I got older, I really got into it because I love food. I love to
food, too.
eat it. And
We could tell with the sparrow. But
food
anyway,
makes
go ahead.
people happy. So definitely
It
that
does
was
make you happy. I love food. Okay,
it does,
I'm
but
gonna calm down.
this book is a little different. It's not just a cookbook. It's a inspirational book as well.
Yes.
It's stories about my life. What made me write the book is I felt like it was needed during my healing. I was in a 17-year marriage, and needless to say, it wasn't a great one. I wind up hitting my bottom in that marriage. And so when hitting my bottom and trying to come out of darkness, I wrote the book because it gave me healing. I had to revisit a lot of things that happened in my
Right.
life just so that I can heal me. And in doing so, I found out a lot of things about myself, but most of all, what I found out is that I didn't love myself.
I could relate. I definitely could relate to and understand where you're coming from when you say it took you to write. Because I used to write journals when I went through my domestic violence. And I had to read those journals to heal.
Right.
So I guess I just it's like I decided to like read the journal, and it was my way of understanding that I wasn't lying, or it was true. It was
Right.
what was happening to me.
Right. It validates what
right.
what you felt and what you thought was happening, but you really tried to put it to the back because you couldn't really believe
And that was
that you was experiencing
yeah,
it.
definitely. I did not believe what but the hurtful part was when he read the journals.
Ooh.
Yeah, so he read my journals
Okay.
of what I was saying about him,
Okay.
which was like a little payback because I knew he was reading them because he would send me a text to say, "You're not perfect either."
Okay.
So I was like, what happened? So of course I'm nervous going home because I'm like,
What's gonna happen?
did he, what are you talking about? He was like, nothing. So then I
Wow.
started to realize, yeah, he's reading my journal. He would put it back where it was at. So, but I knew because it was certain things I didn't tell anybody that he was say to me. So I knew, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Writing
yes,
your
having
story.
a journal, but you wrote a book. And I
Yes,
did
writing
a
your
journal.
story is very important. You don't want it to die with you. It's gonna help. I want my book to help change someone's life, save someone's life, motivate, empower, just let people know that they're not alone. You know, when writing the book and doing research in regards to the things that I was feeling and going through and trying to process all of that, and even learning the type of abuse that I was in, which was narcissistic abuse.
Right.
So learning about that type of abuse, I was reading, and what I was saying was, wow, how everybody know my life? Like, because it's like the same things were happening
It's the
in
same
everyone
patterns.
else's
It's the
life.
same behavior. It's a different person, but it's the same behavior that you go through. Well, people go through. So it's abuse is abuse, but it's different levels of abuse,
Right.
as we spoke on your show, and we end up realizing that we were dealing with that same type of abuser.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And the levels of abuse, well, these stages, different stages of abuse. So you have emotional, you have physical, you have sexual, you have
Psychological
Yeah.
and verbal.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. A lot of different types of abuse. So a lot of women that are out here walking around don't realize that they're in a domestic violence
That they're even being
relationship.
abused in
Right.
so many different ways. Absolutely.
Right. So you're thinking, okay, so he's just cranky today, but he said this, but he said he was sorry. A lot of times your abuser does say sorry. They say sorry all the time. They're always sorry about what they did.
Well,
oh, I'm sorry I said that. I'm sorry.
I want to disagree
Uh-oh.
because mine, he didn't say sorry. He would buy me gifts.
That
all
was
the
his
time.
apology.
Yeah, but
That's not saying sorry.
yeah, the words never came out. He
That's
would buy
a
the
manipulator.
gifts, but if I didn't act right, those gifts would be taken away as well. So, what was the purpose?
Well,
So-
yeah, because you had to be disciplined. That's what he was manipulating.
Absolutely.
So he took away your gift. He said, "I'm sorry" with the gift, but then if you don't behave yourself, I'm going to take it back. Okay?
punish you.
Right,
It was
you're
always a
punished.
punishment.
That's right. And it sucks. So, in the book, you wrote and talked about your therapy.
I talked about going to
I don't want to
therapy.
tell anybody what your book says.
No, I talked
I
about
wanted to read it.
the importance of, like, when you're going through that type of abuse or any type of abuse, and then you get to a certain point where you're either get strong enough to leave, or you're so broken that you have no choice but to either live in that darkness, die, which I almost died. I tried to commit suicide to get out of it, or that person leaves you, and you're left with all of these feelings
On your own.
Yeah, you don't know how to process it.
Family are,
You're embarrassed.
right.
You go through all of these different emotions, and you don't know where to go. You don't know how to begin to heal. The best thing that you can do for yourself is assemble a support team, a team that will support you in your mental, your physical, and also just in your life period. Like, I got a life coach. I went to therapy. In the beginning, I was in therapy 4 days a week. I wanted to live, and I was fighting to live. So I was in therapy.
So you basically decided that you wanted to live instead of take your life. Now, what made you change your mind?
What made me change my mind? I woke up 2 days later. I tried to commit suicide. I took pills. I woke up alone 2 days by myself. And at that point, I was so afraid. I didn't even know what to do or how to
That's Tinika's alarm. Just telling her it's 45. Yeah.
Yes, how to move forward. And I'm sorry.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. It happens. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. That was my phone. Well,
Just start over. It's okay. Keep moving.
and to move forward, I knew that I had to get enough support to be able to do so. And wow. That was a difficult time for me, and bringing me back there now, it's like it was
I'm sorry.
such a profound
I want to
moment.
be able to like show people that you could change your mind, because sometimes we could think that it's gonna end or we need to end this.
Right.
And I'm saying this because I remember feeling like that.
Right.
It would change my mind.
Right.
Wait, I'm sorry. What made me change?
Wait, I need to. I'll be right back.
She has to change her alarm. She has to turn that off.
Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. We're live and things happen. I do apologize. Okay, so now moving forward.
So what happens is that you could change your mind. So some women feel like they want to take their life, and some women decide not to. I quickly changed because my kids woke me up from that whole idea, because I was in a deep depression, and it took my oldest to say the most horriblest thing ever was, you look horrible in your photos. You don't look nice, mommy.
Nice,
You're
so
posting
happy.
pictures and it doesn't look good. People are worried about you. Now, I cared more about everybody else than I cared about myself.
Right. That is
So
true.
when she said people are worried about you and you don't look nice, and look at this picture, and look at that, and look at this, I was hurt. But I got up and bathed, took a shower, got myself together, cleaned myself up. And you know what he said? Why would she say that to you? You don't look bad. When I looked in the mirror, I knew I looked bad. That's why I kept looking bad every day, because I was depressed. And he wasn't noticing that I looked bad. I didn't look good. I looked really bad. I had like these dry areas by the eyes. I looked exhausted. I was tired. I felt horrible. I didn't feel good. And for my daughter to, because at some point I was wanting to end my life, but she reminded me that it was more to live for them, her brothers, family members, my mother, and she was like, you got to stop this. You have to. Like, I'm going to pay attention to you every day and make sure you pick yourself up. And I started posting better pictures. I started putting on makeup. I started making myself look a lot more better. And eventually he left because I wasn't supposed to look better. He wanted me to crush.
Oh, so you were doing that while he was still there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
So when he left me to go be with another woman. But what made me see what he was doing to me even more was when I saw the other woman starting to look like how I was looking. So it made me realize, it wasn't me bugging out and being crazy and having all these issues that he was saying I was having. It was really him.
Yeah.
He was just feeding you, well, I won't even say he was feeding you thoughts. He was just more of a person that he didn't care about anybody else but himself. So he drained you and he made you tired. Now, with your situation...
With my situation, it was... He really never liked me no other time but when I was in the kitchen. So that was the only time that he really liked me. He really supported me. He really encouraged me. And it was always really a challenge. You know, I write in my book, you know, different things that he would say to get me to do things that he wanted me to do. And it was always, I bet you can't do this, and I bet you can't do that. And for me to show him that I can, and for me it was a way to show him or try to get him to love me more. And you know, when I did want to commit suicide, I basically told him that I wanted to, and his words was, go ahead and do it. No one will find you for weeks because I'm not saying anything. And he left. And that's when I woke up the 2 days later, afraid and alone. And honestly, I think that is what made me really want to live, because he didn't care enough for me. So I had to care for myself. And waking up 2 days alone, and being in that state, your whole life flashes before you when you're in that state. I mean, I don't know about anybody else, but for me, I saw everything that I did, good and bad. And so when I came out of it and really wanted to live, I had to address all of those things. I had to fix me because I was broken.
Yes.
I was broken. I didn't love myself. And therapy was one of the main things that helped me.
So you decided to go get therapy during the time he was there, or when he left, period?
When he left totally. But then pop back in every now and then to, of course, cause issues until I started begging for him not to come. Not to him. I was begging to God, please stop this man from coming, because there's no way that I can get through this with him around. And slowly but surely, he stopped coming.
Well, he was coming back to see if you were broken, that he wasn't there.
Well, initially, he was upset that I was still alive.
Oh, yeah.
Because, you know, most abused women, they still turn to their abuser. The first person I called when I woke up was him. And
well, that was because that's your husband. So you're gonna call your husband to say
I didn't die after he left me to
Right.
die.
It makes sense, but this is true. Yeah, you're gonna call him to say, hey, I'm still here. You paying attention to me?
Yeah.
It's really,
and there was
that's
nothing.
Part of the whole thing with being abused. Like, you don't realize that you're doing that. You're basically screaming for attention from that person to love you. And it's funny that you say that, because people be like, well, why would you call him? Why would you be bothered with him?
Right.
He don't care about you.
He didn't care. Exactly.
But if you love a person, you want that person to pay attention.
And that's
to
all
you.
you know.
You're screaming for their attention. You want them to do exactly what you think they should be doing for you, even if you're telling them they're still not doing it. But you want that attention, you want that love, you want that comfort, and you weren't getting that. It's like a kid. Right.
And so I knew that there was no way that I was going to live if he was still in my life.
So so you went through the domestic violence. He eventually started to leave. And then how did you come up with being a life coach yourself?
Well, I had to learn how to love myself, and in doing so, I found how it became like an addictive feeling to like love yourself and want to live
something
and just
that
get the best
supposed to do,
out of life, and just learning how to apply tools to keep that going. Because not only did I try to commit suicide, I suffered with anxiety and depression as well. So with learning how to cope with all of those issues and still thrive in life was important. And so it made me I became a life coach so that I can educate others and I can help others on how to do that as well, because it is so liberating to be able to live your life on your terms and be happy without having to have anybody else make you happy. So, and that's where self-love comes from. So yes, I am a life coach. I actually will be opening my calendar back in November for new clients. I have a podcast that I do that drops every Friday. I just been keeping myself busy.
Now, your podcast that you do it drops every Friday. Do you do it alone, or do you have other people that you work with?
Well, the podcast is called the Brunch Hour Podcast, and I am one of three. There's Goody and Styles, my other two hosts, where we just click. We just get along so well. We're able to talk. We have a great time. And then I also brought back the Cooking with Love live series, where I, address topics that either have been in my book or just affect everyday life. So I do that like every Thursday. I have a cook show that I did on Hustle Television Network on Facebook. And so that right now we're in the end of the first season, and we're working on the second season content. But you can find that show on YouTube. It's streaming. I'll give you all that information so you'll be able to find that. But it's Cooking with Love on Hustle Television YouTube and on Facebook as well. And I plan on writing another book too.
Yes, she does.
So yeah, so I'm looking forward to writing another book. I've been through.
Is it a sequel to this book, or is it going to be something similar to cooking?
Well,
with a few of the things that.
It's the same type of concept. It's dishes, and then of course stories about my life, lessons that I've learned. Since I wrote this book, I've been through so many other things. I've been through a car accident and just having to start all over again. So the lessons that I've learned in that, so I can't wait to share that as well. But coming out of one of the most traumatic experiences in my life, and that is the marriage. I was in a car accident almost 5 years ago that left me almost paralyzed from the neck down.
She's still standing. Look at her.
Tried to commit suicide. I suffered from anxiety and depression. And my motto is just never giving up, because I know what it feels like to give up. I definitely do. And especially when you're being abused, you feel like you're not worthy. You
do. So what would you say to a woman that's going through what we already been through?
I would say that you're worth more than what you're going through right now. Get out. Choose you. Always. Self-love is the greatest love of all, and it's the most important. So once you learn how to love yourself, you make better choices for yourself. And you know what you're worth, and you know what you deserve. So the most important thing to do is find yourself and fall in love with yourself completely.
I think I'm going to confirm with that. And what I want to say is that, so first thought that you're going to have with that type of advice is, how? Because I feel like crap, or I don't see anything nice about me. What I would advise is that you find that one thing that just like Tinika did, and that was cooking. You find there is something that you do like about yourself. It could be your eyes. It could be your legs. It could be the smallest thing. If a person says you're beautiful, they are not lying to you. You are beautiful. Even if you don't feel like you're not beautiful, you are. I think all women are beautiful. But take care of yourself. When we say self-love
daily affirmations
is Yes, definitely.
Daily affirmations.
Daily affirmations.
Choose like 10 things you can find about yourself that you love about yourself every single living day.
And if that's
and
too
say
hard,
that to yourself
maybe
in the mirror.
one thing a day. You find one thing.
True, you can start slow.
Yeah.
But
sometimes it's hard.
10 things is very easy because
Yeah.
it could just be, I like your smile. I love your eyes. I love your lips.
Exactly.
You know, I like your hair, the way you stand, the way you move, just anything that's
If no
going to
one's
make
saying
you
it to you, then you
feel
say it
good.
to yourself.
Absolutely.
There's nothing wrong with being confident about who you are.
Celebrate yourself always.
If you have to do it in secret, do it in secret. Go in the bathroom. That's a personal place. Go in the bathroom. You tell yourself a few things. You come out and you continue to think that throughout your day. And, you know, eventually you will come up with a exit way of with leaving. I did.
Yeah.
Tinika did, even though people would say, well, he left. But no, the abuse was still happening because I was being bullied on social media.
Right.
So when I
It
posted a
happens
picture
after.
and I was happy, I still was being bullied because people that knew my offender was texting me and contacting me and telling me that is considered to be bullying. So
Yes.
friends, don't, if you know your friend is being abused, don't come and tell her what your offender is doing, what their offender is doing, what their ex is doing that abused them.
Right.
Don't go back and tell him what's happening in his life. She don't need to know what's going on in his life. She needs to know what to do with her life and how to pick up the pieces.
Absolutely. Find things that you love to do. Go out and do it. Make yourself happy. Be around the people that are going to support you, motivate you, encourage you, and be there for you, because you're needed and you're important, and you need to know that. Yeah. And what else should people be doing?
Well, I think that she's picking my brain. I think from what my experience was, I think that you should just, again, like I keep saying about, but I know she said 10 things, but every day you just tell yourself something good. You know, I'm just gonna make a little joke, but it's not funny. But what really opened me up after my daughter told me I needed to get myself together, I walked outside, I had 2 different shoes on. And it's funny, but it wasn't funny.
Right,
it was
right.
an eye-opener. It was
Right.
like, you got on one sandal, and then you got another sandal on. And it was like, that's not, come on now. This is ridiculous. You need to get out of your funk. So eventually I did. And I started putting on nice clothes and start wearing the same T-shirt and start wearing the same shorts and, you know, started picking shoes to go with my clothes and picking like really nice outfits to put on. So I started to brighten up my day by basically just saying, okay, well, I am going to pick colorful clothes. That was my thing, colorful clothes. So I would put on neon pink.
Okay, so that made you feel better.
It made me feel better. Neon pink.
I would say
a bright lipstick.
let your pain guide you to your purpose.
Yeah.
Let your pain guide you to your purpose.
Exactly.
And you'll find that once you do things with a purpose, life has more meaning.
So I hate to do this, guys, but we got to wrap it up. Thank you so much for tuning in to Shade with a New Day. And please follow my girl, Tinika B. Love, and purchase her book.
On Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, at TanikaBLove.com. You can get my book. You can follow me at Tinika B. Love. And you can also purchase it on Amazon, Walmart, Target, all of those places where you can get books online. I'll be offering an ebook for the holidays, so look out for that.
All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.